Hey everybody, I'm Brad Lovell and I'm standing next to the new 2021 Bronco. This is a very special vehicle for me. I've been involved the last 3 years to help develop this vehicle and test this vehicle in all kinds of off-road environments. We've spent a lot of time in Johnson Valley on King of the Hammers course. We've been in mud, we've been to Moab, we've been through the Rubicon, and right now we're out here in Colorado. And I got involved with the program because I'm a lifelong enthusiast of off-roading. I'm a lifelong Bronco owner. My brother was brought home from the hospital in a Bronco. We raced them down in Baja. We've always been Ford guys, and I was lucky enough through happenstance to get involved with the program through racing and my engineering background. And I think that's really paid off for this program because these guys want to get it right. This is an authentic vehicle, and that's very important to me, to have it be authentic. It's not being fake. It has real content that makes it a great off-road vehicle, and it has all the other things that are going to get built in a Ford vehicle. It's going to be safe, it's going to ride well, but for me, the influence and what I love about this vehicle so much is the capability off-road. Ford is back. It was stated long ago with the Raptor, and now it's here with the Bronco, and that's really exciting for me. So what I'd like to do is go around and point out some of the coolest things on this vehicle. One of the most discussed things about the new Bronco is the independent front suspension. And I'm a solid axle guy. The majority of the vehicles I have are solid axle, but I've also spent time in IFS vehicles going fast in the desert. It's always been a question of, does IFS work in the rocks? And if you look at how things have evolved, the fastest King of the Hammers vehicles out there, they're all IFS. So IFS does work, and this system is built right. And the thing that really helps it work so well is the stay bar disconnect, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the system is really robust. The A-arms are really long, and we got good travel numbers out of it. So it makes it so much more comfortable getting to the trail for daily driving, and the thing works really well in the heavy rock. As a rule of thumb, I've told everybody this thing is better than the competition, faster than 5 miles an hour, and then at about 45 miles an hour it gives up to the king of the desert, the Raptor. But what we found in validation going through the Rubicon and in Moab, that this thing is pretty much better at everything under 5 miles an hour too. One of the things I'm most excited about in the new Bronco is this hero switch area up here. When we went through the interior design, it was really important to get the off-road features high up on the dash so you can see them when you're bouncing around. You don't want to be fumbling down around here trying to activate lockers and things like that. So this is very clear, very good interface. And this vehicle here is equipped with front and rear lockers and stay bar disconnect. So the thing about the stay bar is stay bar disconnect has evolved through competitive vehicles. It's very hard to engage and disengage, and you have to be on flat ground. So if you get up on a rock and you see that you need your stay bar disengaged, it's already too late. You have to back down and try to get it to work. With this system, it's just one press, right like that. It doesn't matter if you're bound up. And it was the coolest thing the first time I used it, because we were getting kind of teetery on some rocks, and I just engaged it or disengaged it, and the whole vehicle settled down and we could continue forward. And it also seamlessly re-engages at about 25 miles an hour. So what I do is pretty much any trail where we're going to bounce around, I just disengage it, and the ride is so much better. And then it seamlessly engages above 25, and then it'll re-disengage when you go back down below 25. So it's just working in the background, it's active suspension, and it makes the ride so much better and gives you articulation out of the front IFS. So that system really has me excited. With Ford Raptor came drive modes, and that has now been adapted to GOAT modes in the new Ford Bronco. What are GOAT modes? Well, you have different modes for different off-road situations, whether it's slippery and snow, sand, mud, ruts, Baja mode, rock crawling mode. So you kind of have a mode for every type of terrain you're going to experience in this vehicle. So for example, if I select Baja mode, it's going to change not just putting it into four-wheel drive, but it's going to change the shift schedule, the throttle map, the ABS system, the stability control. So all these things that keep us safe and secure in an on-road environment, we can now affect so that we have better performance in an off-road environment. And those things, like ABS, for example, can kind of conflict. What's good on-road isn't so good off-road. So when you use GOAT modes, it affects that such that you can have the best performance off-road, whether it's crawling in the rocks, on snow, mud and ruts, or my favorite mode, which is Baja mode. All right, in the dash here, we have different off-road modes. So you can see the vehicle isn't running right now, but this first mode shows you pitch, roll, and steering angle. And that can be really helpful because knowing your max pitch and cross slope angle, it can, a lot of times when I'm off-roading, if there's a lot of exposure, it feels a lot different than if you're like in a ravine. So you can use these gauges to calibrate yourself. Sometimes you'll forget where the wheel is, where your wheel center is. So this display really helps with that. It also shows you states if you're in four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, if you have your lockers engaged, trail turn assist. Cycling through, we have a larger pitch and roll screen. And then one thing which I think is awesome, it tells you your tire pressure right on this screen here. So in desert racing, it's hard to tell if you get a flat when you're going fast, and you want to know your tire pressure, and you pay a lot of money for those systems. That's all integrated through TPMS, and we can see the different pressures right on the screen here. We also have gauge modes for more precise measurements in each gauge. It's not just going to tell you if it's too hot or too cool, it's going to give you the actual measurements. Turbo boost, oil temperature, battery voltage. So all these things that for an auto enthusiast like me that I really want to know what's going on, we can now dive back in and see that in the vehicle. When the Ford engineers were looking for the best solutions for the Bronco, how to make it the most capable, they really got into the community with King of the Hammers, with the desert racing, and really looked at all the latest technology. And when we're racing in King of the Hammers, what we do a lot of times is use the front end to drag the rear end around, and we're breaking individual tires in the rear. And that's possible in the new Ford Bronco, which is pretty amazing to me. The first of which, we can engage only the front locker without engaging the rear locker, which is really advantageous, again, to drag the front around. And the other thing we can do, with or without the front locker engaged, is activate trail turn assist. What does that do? It's like a cutting brake. It'll brake this rear tire and have the other tires pulling. So in either tire, so as you turn the wheel to full lock, it'll activate the brake on that single rear tire only and allow you to do really sharp tractor turns. So is it fun and cool in the sand? Absolutely, a great time. But where it's really useful is doing really technical rock crawling. It's something that we'd call a front burn, but if you have the vehicle unstable up on some rocks, you engage that rear brake and you pull it down by turning a lot of angle in the front and getting stable again. And that's what we can now do in the Ford Bronco. One accessory I'm really excited about is this fold down table, because it gives you the best of both worlds between having a hatch that opens and a tailgate. And they've incorporated hard points on the gate here itself for this accessory or others like it. There've been a lot of questions about the back seats, and I actually have a few minutes riding in the back seat of a two-door out in the desert. The first thing I noticed was the lack of a B-pillar here. There's nothing that feels threatening in front of your head, and you have this great open view with the top off. There's a good view out the windshield. Seats are angled back enough, and really it felt like there was a lot of room back here. And as you fold them down, you just lift this cushion up and then pull a lever, and it folds down flat, so it's easy to stack cargo on top of it. One thing I really did when I got involved is pushed hard for tires and wheels. And this, I'm sitting next to a Badlands model, which comes base with BFG KO2s. And then you can upgrade to the Goodyears here with a wheel that you can make into a beadlock. How does that work? You take this trim ring off, you take it to a tire shop, they'll pop the bead over to the outside, and then you put a beadlock ring right back on the same wheel. And then it also comes with what I'm most excited about, which is a 35-inch tire package with the Sasquatch. I've always said the bigger the tire, the smaller the desert, and it really shows. It helps in performance, it helps with ride quality, and it's something that is pretty exciting to be able to get 35-inch tires on a Bronco. An important feature for off-roading here are the optional rock rails. They're available on Black Diamond and Badlands. Why is this important? Because oftentimes you fall off a rock and you'll hit this rock rail here instead of the body. It gives you protection. It's a point that you can use to rotate the vehicle to maneuver through big rocks. And this is a pretty robust piece. The designers of this spent a week with us out in Johnson Valley testing it, and boy, there were a couple times they told me, just drive off this rock here, slam it on the rail. And they're very interested in making it right, and we have a great system here, and it's mounted to the body. It's not mounted to the frame, so the frame and the body move independently. So this is locked to the body itself. It's right in the structure of it, and it's a point that we've used many times through Rubicon, Moab, and out in Johnson Valley to maneuver the vehicle. You can actually wedge a rock right up against here and rotate the whole vehicle. It's a technique we use a lot of times to weave through rocks. All in all, I am really excited about the Ford Bronco. I can't wait to get mine in the driveway. I think it's a great example of how modern technology has really come around for the off-road enthusiast. I've seen modern technology and systems just benefit on-road driving and not so much off-road. Now I feel like that emphasis is finally here for off-road through systems like the GOAT modes, through enablers like the stay bar, the lockers, trail turn assist, one pedal. There's so much capability built into this vehicle alongside with modern technology, integration with the sync system, and it's a comfortable vehicle that you can drive every day. So like I say, I can't wait to get mine in the driveway and come out and enjoy some of these trails in Colorado.